Imagine waking up one morning and realizing that the discomfort that has followed you for weeks is slowly fading away. You go to the bathroom without fear, without pain, without that constant tension that makes you dread every single day. How many times have you wished for something that simple? To sit without pain, to walk without pressure, to feel normal again. People who suffer from hemorrhoids know exactly what that means. It is not just physical pain. It is the frustration of feeling trapped inside your own body, the embarrassment of not being able to talk about it, the exhaustion of trying everything and still finding no lasting relief. For years, this condition has been treated as something shameful. Many suffer in silence, thinking it is too embarrassing to mention or believing that nothing truly works. But today, I want to tell you something different. There is a natural, evidence-based way to relieve this condition safely, and it has already been proven effective by seniors who found real comfort without medication or surgery. These people, with decades of life experience, discovered that the most powerful medicine might already be on your plate. What we now call superfoods are simply natural ingredients that nourish the body back to balance. They strengthen blood vessels, reduce inflammation, and restore circulation from the inside out. They are simple, accessible, and backed by both science and lived experience. That is what makes this story worth your time. Before we continue, I invite you to subscribe to Relief Health. Every week, we bring new, science-based content that helps you take control of your body through practical, natural methods. We believe knowledge is power, and when you understand how your body works, you stop depending on luck and start depending on yourself. Hemorrhoids are not a punishment. They are not a sign of weakness. They are a message from your body asking for attention. Most of the time, the problem begins quietly. A poor diet, dehydration, long hours sitting, stress that tightens every muscle. Over time, pressure builds up in the veins around the rectum until pain appears. People then try to hide it with creams or quick fixes, which only silence the symptoms for a while. But the root remains. What the elderly discovered is that true healing starts not in the pharmacy, but in the kitchen. They began to observe how the body reacted when nourished correctly. The difference was remarkable. The pain eased, the swelling went down, and the fear of each bowel movement slowly disappeared. These were not miracles, they were biological reactions, the body doing what it was designed to do once it received what it needed. Perhaps you have tried many treatments and none have worked for long. Perhaps you have been told that this is something you must simply learn to live with. But pain is not destiny, it is information. When you understand the signal, you can change the outcome. What you will learn today is not a collection of promises. It is the real science of nutrition applied by real people who proved it works. By the end of this video, you will know which 8 superfoods have helped thousands of people restore comfort naturally. But more than that, you will understand how your body can rebuild itself from within. Relief is not a miracle, it is a process. And the moment you begin to trust that process, everything changes. Most people think hemorrhoids just appear out of nowhere, as if they were a random punishment for getting older or sitting too long. But the truth is that they are the result of a chain of small choices and overlooked signals. They are the body's response to imbalance. When we eat processed food, forget to drink water, stay seated for hours, or live under constant stress, our circulation slows down, digestion weakens, and pressure quietly builds up in the most delicate veins of the body. At first, it is barely noticeable, a mild irritation, a little itching. But over time, that pressure becomes inflammation, and inflammation turns into pain. The body never fails to warn us. We just learn to ignore it. Shame makes it worse. Because it is not an illness that people talk about openly, many prefer to hide it, hoping it will simply go away. But ignoring the problem doesn't make it disappear. It makes it grow in silence. When you avoid talking about it, you delay healing. And that silence can turn something small into something that controls your life. People stop sitting comfortably, stop exercising, stop socializing. They build routines around avoiding pain. And that emotional pressure feeds the physical one. What seniors discovered is that the root cause of hemorrhoids is not the symptom you feel. It is the system that you forget to care for. Your intestines, your veins, your circulation, your hydration, your nutrition, they all work together like a network. When one of them fails, all of them struggle. Fiber is missing, waste accumulates, and the veins become overworked. In other words, hemorrhoids are not a disease that happens to you. They are a reaction from your body asking you to restore the natural flow it once had. The digestive system is one of the most sophisticated parts of the human body. It processes everything you eat, separates what helps you from what harms you, and sends each nutrient to where it's needed most. But when this system is starved of good food, it cannot perform. The muscles of the intestine weaken, the veins lose elasticity, and the blood that should move freely starts to pool. That stagnation is where the pain begins. The body tries to push back, to repair, to heal, but it needs help. And that help doesn't come from medicine alone. It comes from what you feed it. When you give the body the right building blocks, real food, real hydration, consistent movement, it begins to fix itself. The elderly who inspired this video learned that you can reverse years of inflammation not by fighting the symptom, but by supporting the system. Once they added more natural fiber, fresh vegetables and fruits, their intestines began to function again, smoothly and painlessly. They broke the silence not only by talking about it, but by acting on it. And that is the invisible truth. Hemorrhoids are not a mysterious curse. They are a predictable outcome of disconnection from how we eat, how we move, and how we care for the body that carries us. The moment you reconnect, the healing starts. Understanding this changes everything, because when you know what's truly happening inside, you stop blaming yourself, you stop feeling ashamed, and you start feeling empowered. You see that the problem isn't you, it's the neglect that society normalizes. And once you understand that, you have the power to take your health back. Now that you know what really causes the pain, it's time to understand what happens if we keep ignoring it, and why acting early can mean the difference between years of struggle and lasting comfort. Ignoring the body always comes with a cost. Sometimes the cost is small, a bit of discomfort, a day of fatigue. But when that cost is paid for years, it turns into real suffering. Hemorrhoids are not a random event. They are the body's alarm system. When pain begins, when the bleeding appears, when sitting or walking becomes a challenge, it's the body saying, "I can't handle this anymore." It's not trying to punish you, it's trying to protect you. And yet, most people answer that message by silencing it. They use a cream, take a pill, hope for relief, and move on with their day, never realizing that the silence they bought is temporary and that the problem is still growing underneath. The truth is that untreated hemorrhoids do not simply stay the same. They evolve. The inflammation becomes chronic, the veins become weaker, and the tissue starts to stretch beyond repair. What begins as mild discomfort can become a condition that dominates your daily routine. You start planning your life around pain, what to eat, when to sit, where to go. Sleep is disrupted, focus disappears, and anxiety takes its place. The constant irritation doesn't just hurt your body, it drains your patience, your confidence, your joy. It becomes emotional fatigue that few people around you can even see. But here is the part that most people don't know. This downward spiral is not irreversible. The body has an extraordinary ability to heal, even after years of neglect. The same veins that are swollen and weak can regain strength when given what they need. The same tissues that ache can repair themselves once the inflammation is gone. Nature built us to recover. It only needs the right conditions. The seniors who managed to heal naturally proved that. They showed that by feeding the body instead of fighting it, pain can fade without dependency on medication or surgery. That's why knowledge matters. The more you understand how this process works, the less you fear it. Fear makes people freeze, but understanding gives direction. You realize that the bleeding, the pain, the discomfort are not random events. They're feedback. They are the body's language, and that language is clear once you learn to listen. When the body inflames, it's asking for circulation. When it bleeds, it's asking for support. When it aches, it's asking for change. And when you start providing that change, the cycle begins to reverse. This is why ignoring the signs is dangerous. Not because the condition itself is fatal, but because it steals your quality of life slowly and quietly. It takes away time, focus, and energy that you could be using to live freely. People lose years waiting for it to fix itself when, in reality, all it takes is the right fuel, the right balance, and the right habits. At Relief Health, we believe the purpose of information is prevention. It's about acting before pain becomes suffering. And if you're watching this video, it means you're already doing that. You're learning, you're paying attention, and that's the first step to recovery. Because the good news is this: no matter how long you've suffered, the body never forgets how to heal. Once you give it the nutrients, the circulation, and the rest it needs, the healing starts quietly and then grows stronger each day. The swelling recedes, the pressure softens, the relief becomes real. That's what this next part is about. The exact foods that triggered that transformation for seniors around the world. The foods that helped them rebuild their comfort and their confidence, one meal at a time. This is the moment when everything begins to change. Because now we move from understanding the problem to seeing the proof. The evidence that nature has already given us everything we need to heal. What the seniors discovered is not magic. It's biology working exactly as it was designed to. They learned that food can either feed inflammation or fight it. That choice happens on your plate every single day. And when they began to choose the right foods, something remarkable happened. The bleeding stopped, the pressure eased, the pain faded away. They started to sit, to walk, to live again. All because they stopped fighting the body and started feeding it. The 8 superfoods that brought them relief are not exotic or expensive. They are simple, natural, and familiar. Foods rich in fiber that help the intestines work smoothly, preventing the pressure that causes pain. Fruits and vegetables full of antioxidants that repair fragile veins and reduce inflammation. Whole grains that stabilize digestion and keep the body's rhythm steady. Seeds and natural oils that act as internal lubricants, easing movement and protecting the delicate tissues around the rectum. These are not new discoveries. They are rediscoveries, truths that modern life made us forget. The science behind this is clear. Fiber absorbs water and creates a soft, gel-like texture in the stool, reducing friction and eliminating the strain that inflames the veins. Flavonoids and antioxidants strengthen the vessel walls, keeping them flexible and preventing the pooling of blood that leads to swelling. Anti-inflammatory compounds calm the tissues and restore natural circulation. It's a process that takes time, but every step of it builds towards stability. Seniors who followed this path consistently noticed results, not just in their digestion, but in their overall well-being. Less bloating, better sleep, more energy. When the body stops fighting itself, everything else starts to work better too. You don't have to memorize nutrients or count every bite. The secret is balance. Combine natural fibers like oats, fruits, and vegetables with enough water, and your body will do the rest. It knows how to heal, it just needs the right materials. And when you stay consistent, the change becomes visible, not just in comfort, but in confidence. Because every time you nourish your body, you remind yourself that you're not powerless. You are participating in your own recovery. And if this information is already helping you, make sure to subscribe to Relief Health. Our mission is to share science that works in real life. Simple strategies that you can use immediately, no matter your age. Every week, we share practical ways to restore balance naturally, because healing shouldn't be complicated. It should be consistent. Returning to what works is often the hardest step, because it requires patience. The seniors who inspired this video didn't see change overnight, but they saw it happen. Slowly, surely, steadily, the pain disappeared. Their lives changed because they made a decision to trust nature again, to feed the body instead of forcing it, and the results spoke for themselves. What we learn from them is that healing does not come from one product or one promise. It comes from the small, steady rhythm of doing the right thing every day. These superfoods are not a miracle. They are the body's language of recovery. Every fiber, every vitamin, every mineral is a message to your cells saying, you are safe, you can repair, you can work again. And when that message is repeated meal after meal, day after day, the healing becomes permanent. Now that you understand what truly brings relief, the next step is learning how to make it last. How to turn this discovery into a lifestyle that protects you for years to come. That's what we'll explore next. the simple habits that make your recovery part of who you are, not just what you do. The real transformation begins when knowledge becomes action, because it's not what you learn that changes your body, it's what you repeat. Healing is not a one-time event. It's a rhythm, a quiet agreement between you and your body that says, "I will take care of you every day." That is what the seniors who recovered discovered, that relief didn't come from a single choice, but from a pattern of good ones. The pattern became a routine, and the routine became freedom. The action plan is not complicated. It starts with the morning, that first moment when you decide how the rest of your day will feel. Begin with water. Not coffee, not energy drinks, but pure water. It wakes up the intestines and starts circulation. Add fruits rich in fiber, berries, apples, pears, and a source of natural grains like oats. Within days, your digestion starts to change, and your body begins to work with you instead of against you. At lunch, choose colors. The more color on your plate, the more antioxidants in your system. Leafy greens for strength, orange vegetables for repair, olive oil for balance. Dinner should be lighter, softer. Soups, steamed vegetables, something that lets your body rest. These are not restrictions, they are forms of respect, and respect brings results. When you treat your body as an ally, it rewards you with energy, clarity, and comfort. Seniors who adopted these habits noticed that the fear they used to feel, fear of pain, fear of movement, fear of meals, slowly vanished. The body became predictable again, reliable again. That's what balance feels like. Not perfection, but predictability. You begin to trust your own system. You eat, and you know you'll be okay. You sit, and you know it won't hurt. That quiet confidence is what real healing means. Another simple but powerful step is movement. The human body was never meant to stay still. Just 10 to 15 minutes of walking each day can restart the circulation that keeps the veins healthy. The movement pushes oxygen to every corner of the body and gives your digestive system the signal to move too. Think of it as sending a message through your bloodstream that says, "Keep going." It doesn't matter if you are 60, 70, or 80. The body always listens when you move. Hydration is the other pillar. Every cell in your body depends on water. Without it, nothing works as it should. Water softens waste, helps fiber do its job, and keeps blood flowing smoothly. Most people underestimate it, but water is the simplest anti-inflammatory on earth. The seniors who healed learned that hydration was not optional, it was medicine. 2 liters a day. It's simple, measurable, and powerful. Then there's consistency, the invisible key. Healing doesn't announce itself, it doesn't show up with fireworks. It arrives quietly. One day you realize you went to the bathroom without pain. One day you sit without discomfort. One day you forget to think about the problem because it's no longer there. That's the power of small steps repeated until they become second nature. At Relief Health, we call this phase the return to flow. When your body regains the rhythm it was always meant to have. You feel lighter, cleaner, calmer, and it's not because of luck, it's because you built it. Every sip of water, every healthy meal, every minute of movement added up. If you've reached this part of the video, I want to invite you to leave a comment below. Tell us how long you've been dealing with this condition, or what small changes you've tried. Your story might help someone else who's still afraid to start. Because healing is not just personal, it's shared. The more we talk about it, the less power shame has over anyone. Now that you know how to make the results last, we can take this one step further. Because when your body is back in balance, the transformation goes beyond the physical. It reaches your mind, your confidence, your entire way of living. And that is what we'll explore in the final part. The moment when relief becomes freedom and health becomes a way of life. Healing doesn't happen in an instant. It happens in the quiet repetition of small decisions that honor your body. Every glass of water you drink, every natural meal you prepare, every time you choose movement over stillness, you're teaching your body to trust you again. That trust is what creates relief, and relief is what brings you back to life. The seniors who shared their experience didn't find miracles, they found patience. They gave their bodies time to respond, and their bodies rewarded them with freedom. Freedom from fear, freedom from pain, freedom from the constant anxiety of wondering when it will hurt again. That is what real health feels like. Not perfection, but peace. Peace of mind, peace in your body, peace in knowing that you can rely on yourself again. The truth is that your body has never stopped trying to heal you. Even when you felt hopeless, it was working silently in the background, waiting for your cooperation. When you start nourishing it with the right foods, it responds immediately. When you hydrate, it thanks you. When you move, it strengthens itself. Healing is not an act of force, it's an act of partnership, and that partnership starts today. You don't need to be young or lucky. You don't need a prescription. You need understanding, patience, and the willingness to listen. That's what those seniors proved, that no matter your age, your body still knows how to heal. It doesn't forget. It just waits for you to remember how to care. So as you finish this video, take a deep breath and realize that you are not broken. You are simply being reminded to return to balance. Relief is possible. Comfort is possible. A life without constant pain is possible. And it all begins with what you choose today. Here at Relief Health, our mission is to help you make those choices with confidence. Choices backed by science, guided by compassion, and proven by experience. If this video has helped you, please share it. You might give someone else the knowledge they've been searching for. And before you go, take a second to subscribe and join our community. We're here every week to share practical insights that help you live pain-free, healthy, and confident. Because you deserve that life, and not someday, not if everything goes perfectly, but now. The journey to relief starts with one decision: to believe that your body is capable of more than pain. Believe it, feed it, move it, and it will prove you right. Thank you for watching, and thank you for trusting Relief Health to guide you back to comfort and control. Take care of yourself, stay consistent, and remember, healing isn't luck, it's daily commitment. And that commitment begins the moment you decide to listen to your body again.